It's Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday. I hear the song, and it's a half day of classes, so we got shortened periods today. Just enough time to probably do this Bellringer and maybe do an ed puzzle, and that'll probably be it. And then if you have lab, we've got a little bit of time to catch up with some lab things like sheep brains, and yeah, so it's gonna be it's gonna go by quickly today, but let's still do today's Bellringer. That's of utmost importance, don't you think?
All right.
Hey now.
Mr. Kovacs class. It's Mr. Kovacs class. You might learn a ton. It's Mr. Kovacs class.
He's interested too.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
And he's super cool.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
I've been talking a lot about brains recently, and what do you really need to know about the brain? It's a collection of neurons, which are nerve cells. And the brain is kind of the control center of the body where it communicates using neurons with other parts of the body. And yeah, the brain, a couple things we've discussed, right, is that size isn't that important, right? There's a big blue whale brain, way bigger than yours, but it's the amount of bumpiness on the outside and bumpiness on the inside. Look at, here's a cross-section of brain. You did this during the brain dissection. See all these folds and bends and right? Everywhere where it's kind of pink, and I'm tracing with the green cursor, that's where there's like neuron action going on, places where you can think and perceive and stuff like that, okay? Lots of those places. The whitish parts, those are really just bundles of neurons that are myelinated, right? So these are just like the cables leaving those brain cells, but yeah, nice and bumpy and bumped up brain. And of course, we've mentioned that brains use a lot of blood because they use up 20% of your daily intake of calories, energy. They need a lot of blood vessels in order to service that much need. Here's a picture of a stroke victim. Like, the stroke is when a blood vessel in your brain gets blocked, and then all of the cells, all the neurons downstream stop receiving blood. If they stop receiving blood, they stop getting oxygen. They stop getting nutrients and they die. We call that a stroke. Hey, what I want you to get out of the brain, I want you to know that there's three main parts. There's the big cerebrum, which is the bumpy part. There's the cerebellum, which sits behind, and the brain stem. And the brain stem is like the most primitive part of the brain. Right? It does like those things that you don't want to think about, like breathing. Okay? I don't know about you, but I think they've got their walkie-talkies over the announcements right now. There's cerebellum, which is holds your place in space. And then you've got your cerebrum, which is where things are going crazy right now. Geez, I'm Crow. I'm trying to film a Bellringer, and the announcements got all wonky on me. First, we got some random people talking, then we got this. It's like, it's insane in my brain. Let's do the different parts of the brain. All right. Frontal lobe, thinking. Parietal lobe, moving. Occipital lobe, seeing. Temporal lobe, hearing. All together, they work together to form memories and learning, right? Learning. Whereas your brain stem, just really all about like maintaining your life, your life. You go inside the brain, okay, there's the bumpy cerebrum. Underneath the cerebrum, there's the corpus callosum and what we call the amygdala. The amygdala is the part of the brain that deals with emotions. So if you feel something like sad or happy or glad or excited, it's in this part of the brain. There's the cerebellum again, that's kind of coordinates movements. Here's the brain stem with the pons and the medulla oblongata. It's attached to the spinal cord. There's our old friend, the hypothalamus. That's the master gland of the endocrine system. right? It's connected to the pituitary. Yeah. So inside the brain, there's a lot of action going on too. And of course, these things all do talk to each other with neurons. All right? So that's it for brains. That's what we needed to know. Give your brain a good break this weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Happy Friday.